Well, unfortunately, not everyone is as happy as Robert and Esther. In some cases, people are trapped in a domestic violence situation. Tonight, we have a Fox 28 special report for you on a taboo topic that often gets swept under the rug. Shelbey Roberts is live in the newsroom with some shocking statistics for us.
According to the National Coalition Against Domestic Violence, nearly 20 people per minute are physically abused by an intimate partner in the U.S. That's more than 10 million women and men each year. For a number of reasons, not everyone seeks help, but tonight I'm sharing the story of one Savannah survivor who did, to shed light on the dark side of love. This Valentine's Day, Savannah will be the beautiful backdrop for hopelessly in love couples. But in the shadows hide an ugly reality for many, the cycle of domestic violence. Friday's Grove Point murder-suicide ended with 2 people dead after police say 34-year-old Edward Jerome Green Jr. shot and killed 30-year-old Amber Welch, then took his own life. In 2015, Savannah Chatham Metro Police compiled over 2,600 domestic disturbance reports. Major Robert Gavin says 2017 isn't off to a great start.
So far in 2017, we've had over 200 calls for domestic violence. Now that can range from everything from a verbal argument to someone, an aggravated assault. Domestic violence survivor Monica Bergsteiner used to be one of those numbers.
It kind of started from push and shove to, punching and ruining material things.
Monica faced cheating, manipulation, and violence from her abuser. The two met back in April of 2012 while Monica was a junior at Savannah College of Art and Design. But the red flags came when they started dating and then quickly moved in together.
He got very upset and he went out drinking with friends and came back. And he was immediately looking for the car keys. I didn't want him to drive under the influence. So I blocked the door and I told him that I wasn't going to let him drive. And that set him off, and he grabbed me and he had thrown me to the ground and he put his hands around my neck.
For over a year, Monica suffered through the violence, but not without documenting it. She took pictures of the punched walls, shattered glass tables, and broken doors that scattered her apartment. Those pictures became her 2013 SCAD Senior Art Project and her saving grace.
My professor came by, she switched a couple of my photos, and then she took a step back and she just put her hand over her mouth and she started tearing up.
That day, the professor walked Monica with a bulging black eye to the courthouse to get a restraining order. Although she didn't press charges against her abuser, Monica says she's content with her decision. She didn't want any more interactions with the man that had beaten and controlled her for months. Monica says her family and husband of 2.5 years continue to support her. Cheryl Branch is the executive director of Savannah's Safe Shelter. In 2014, Cheryl says Safe Shelter helped 695 clients. That number jumped to 807 in 2015 and 811 just last year.
I'd like to think that we're more visible now than we were a couple of years ago. And that's something that we plan to continue.
But with client numbers climbing, Cheryl and her team need more space, not only to shelter families, but to transition them into more permanent, healthy environments. So Safe Shelter is laying the groundwork for new transitional housing.
Having the units, apartment units, house, whatever, for people leaving the shelter, this would give them a place to live until more permanent housing came available.
Cheryl says the clients would have to have a stable source of income and would be required to take the shelter's budgeting and credit courses.
And there's no point in just throwing somebody out there and expecting them to know how to do all this by themselves.
As far as finding inspiration to escape from abusive relationships, Monica shares this message.
It's amazing to get out of the situation, and it's an emotional journey of healing.
Monica now shares her story of survival to help others find inspiration to get out of those situations. And she now even serves on the board of directors for Safe Shelter. Now, Savannah law enforcement is also working to fight against domestic violence. Coming up in the next half hour, we're hearing about the training program local officers are required to go through and the resources to help you or a friend in need. Reporting live in the newsroom, Shelbey Roberts, Fox 28 News at 10.
All right, informative report, Shelbey. If you or someone you know wants to escape a domestic violence situation, call Safe Shelter, the number 912-629-8888.